In this video, we are going to discuss the Knight's Tour backtracking algorithm. We will go through all the backtracking fundamentals and recursion base cases and the logic behind it. Watch this video till the end as I will give you a line-by-line simple explanation of all the code that we will be writing in this video. My name is Aditya Shenoy from Brainy Things, where I make programming simple and fun. YouTube statistics show that some of you who watch my videos are not subscribed to this channel, so if you end up liking this video, please consider subscribing. It is free and you can always change your mind in future. So let's first understand what is the Knight Tour problem. In this problem, we are given a n cross n chessboard and it can be any other value apart from 8 cross 8 standard chessboard also. And in this problem, we have to place the knight piece at the top left corner. So if you imagine the chessboard as a two-dimensional array, this knight piece should be placed initially at the 0,0 index. Then the knight piece should move according to the standard movement of the knight, that is two cells in one direction and then turn left or right. So if you are familiar how knights move in a chess, in that manner, if the knight starts its tour from the top left corner, how it will visit all the cells in the chessboard just once. So our aim is to find a path for that knight so that it visits all the cells in the chessboard and it only visits that once. So if you're not sure how this works, I will make you visualize that using an example once we complete the code. So this is the basic understanding of the code. So this is a backtracking problem because we need to find a path for the knight, and backtracking is a special case of recursion only. It is not a special code or something. It is just a recursion code. But in this recursion tree, there are multiple candidates involved and one of them is our answer. So it can happen that if we choose one option, one candidate option, that will lead to a dead end. If you can imagine that as a option of roads, one can lead to a dead end and then we have to go back where we have made our original decision and choose the second option. So that is the basic understanding of the backtracking, and we can easily recreate that choosing of the option using recursion. So let's start coding, and we can first define the knight tour function, and we will pass the parameter n that will indicate the size of the chessboard. Inside this function, first we need to initialize the board, that is the chessboard n cross n. So it should be a list inside a list, that is two-dimensional because it is an n cross n board. And each of the cell will have a special value because we have not yet visited any cell yet. So we will initialize all these values to -1, and I will use a list comprehension to initialize this chessboard. So for I in range n, for j in range m. So this one line has constructed a two-dimensional n cross n chessboard, each having a value of -1. Now this just one parameter is not sufficient for using it in a recursive function, so we need to take help of the helper function. So we will call knight tour helper function, and we need to pass n equal to n. So we will have one parameter as n like this. The second parameter will be the board to keep track of whether we have visited that cell or not. So we will be changing these -1 values if once we visit that cell. So we will be updating the board. And one fact of Python is that if we pass a list, that is like this board, inside a function, it will be passed as a reference and not by value. So if you are familiar what is passed by reference, then you will be able to understand why this will work. So pass by reference is just that only a single copy of board will be passed on to multiple functions, and so all the changes will happen at only one place and there will be no copies created. So that is a good thing because we just want one board in the entire problem. And we will be starting our night tour from x equal to 0 and y equal to 0 positions. That is the top left corner of the chessboard. And to keep track of whether we have visited all the cells in our chessboard or not, we need to keep track of a counter that will be initialized as 0 because we have not yet visited any cell, to keep track of whether how many cells, unique cells, we have visited. So once this reaches like n cross n, so for a 8 cross 8 chessboard, if this value reaches 64, then we know that we have visited all 64 unique cells. So this will be our breaking condition and this will be our winning condition. So our aim of backtracking algorithm will be this, to make this counter equal to n cross n. So let's execute this and define the night to a helper function. So night to a helper function, we will repeat these parameters. So n will be there, board will be there, x, y, and counter. As discussed before, like this backtracking algorithms are just a special case of recursion, so we need to follow the same principles that we follow for the recursion cases. That is, whenever we start writing a recursive code, we first need to create the base cases. Otherwise, it will lead to an infinite recursion calls and that will lead to an error. So let's first intuitively understand. We need to visit all the cells in the chessboard, all the unique cells in the chessboard. So our aim is to make this counter equal to n into n. And if this happens, we will return true. So this function will return a boolean value, and this boolean value will be used internally only because as you can see that we are not using this value inside this night to a function, that is the original function, and we are not using this return value anywhere. So we are just initializing the recursion from this statement, but this boolean values will be used internally. So this is one of the base cases, like if we have visited all the nodes, so we don't need to move our knight anymore. So that is our winning case. Next, this x and y will be changed. So once the recursion call happens, this x and y will be changed to all the possible positions for the knight. So if the current position is xy, one of the possible new positions will be x plus 2 and y plus 1. That is, it moved 2 units in the x direction and 1 unit in the y direction. So that is a valid move for a knight. But once we do that, we need to ensure that our x and y positions, that is the new positions, are inside the board. That is, it should not go out of the board. So we need to check that index conditions. So we will check if x is less than 0, because we are following a 0 based indexing. X and y both should range between 0 to n minus 1. So if x is 0 or x is greater than equal to n, same goes with y. So or y is less than 0 or y is greater than equal to n. One more case is there, like in the problem statement we have discussed that the knight should visit each cell only once, and we discussed that we will be updating this board cell from -1 to the to any other value. So for checking whether the particular cell at the x and y position is visited or not, we just need to check whether the board xy index has a value of -1. If it has, then it is unvisited. So if board index yx Here note that we are not using x comma y, we are using y comma x, because y is the index for the outer list and x is the index for the inner list, like the inner elements. So if that is not equal to -1, so we know that this cell of the board is already visited. So in either of these cases, like if the x and y positions are invalid, or the cell of the board is already visited, in all these cases we need to return false. That is, there is no path ahead of this, so we don't need to, so we have reached a dead end of this backtracking algorithm, so we need to go back. Now we are on a point where we have 8 choices to make. That is, each position we have 8 possible moves for a knight. So we need to check all the 8 possibilities one by one. So first we will mark this current position, that is board y comma x, to the counter, so that we don't visit this cell again back. Now for that 8 possibilities, so first we will create the possibilities of the changes in the x and y in this two list. So for x we can have -2, -1s, 1s and 2. For -2 we can either go -1 or 1. For -1 we can either go -2 or 2. For 1 we can again go -2 or 2, and for 2 we can go -1 and 1. So this is the chess movement. So if we are going two units in one direction, we can go 1 unit in the other direction, in either direction. So we have like in total 8 possibilities. So -2, -1, -2, 1 and so on. So I will use a for loop for x move and y move. Now we need to check for all the possibilities. So we need to extract one element at a time. So -2, -1, -2, 1 and so on. So we can easily use here zip function like this, and we can pass this list. So I will copy this and paste it over here, and the second list, copy and paste, or I should have cut paste it because I don't need that list anymore. And so this zip function will help us extract corresponding elements in both these lists, and that is exactly what we want. So inside this, what we will do is, if we will call this recursive function like knight to helper, and we will pass the same parameters. Like the parameters are n, the same board is there, but here x will be changed by x plus x move, y will be changed to y plus y move, and the counter will be incremented by 1 because we have already marked this current position to counter, so we can move the next counter. And as this knight to a helper returns either true or false, we can use this to if condition inside a if condition. And if this returns true, like we reached a configuration in the chessboard that it has visited all the nodes, all the cells in the board, we don't have to process anymore, and so we will return true again. So we don't need to carry on this other possibilities, because if we are in a maze, and if you reach the destination, you don't go back and try to find other possibilities, right? So that is the intuition. Like if you are in a maze and you need to find a path to your goal, you can reach multiple dead ends which is covered by this. So dead ends are this, which will return false. Then you have to come back to the position where you have made decision, and you need to find the correct path to the destination. And once you've done that, you don't need to go back. So if this is true, then good, and it will check for all the 8 cases. If for all the 8 cases also this function will not return true, and so this for loop will eventually end, Then we need to demark this board yx to -1 again, because we know that this counter was useless, because from all the possibilities after this we don't reach any destination. So we will again mark this cell, the current cell yx cell, to -1, so that we can try other possibilities. And as we know that all the possibilities after this is does not reach to destination, we can return false. That is, there is no path from this current yx and counter configuration that can reach this destination. So this is all we need to write for this night tour helper function. Now to visualize the actual configuration inside this function, like the original function, after this board is changed, like we have already discussed that board will be passed as a reference and not as a copy, so we can access this changes in the counter, changes done in the board inside this function after it returns. So what I will do is I will import the NumPy library so that we can print the board in a readable format, like this. I will execute this code again, and I can execute this code as well. Now let's call this function. Let's try a value, a very small value. Suppose we pass a value of 1. So this is the answer. Like it starts at 0 and yes, boom, it is done. Like all the cells has been visited now. Let's see if we pass value of 2. See, you, like if we start at this position, there is no possibility for the knight to move, and so it cannot visit these 3 cells, and so all the values are -1. That indicates that it has tested all the possibilities, and after that also it has reached a dead end for all the directions. And so this -1, all the values of -1 indicates that there is no possible solution to this. Let's see for 3 cross 3, the same, -1, all the values are -1. For 4, again -4. So there is no possible combination, because this is a brute force approach. We are trying all the possible values here, so it cannot miss, it does not miss any possibility. And if we test for 5, the scene changes. As you can see, the index 0, that is the knight's tour, starts at top left corner. Then it has moved over here, that is 2 positions over here and 1 position to the right. Then the next position is 2, then 3 and 4. So you can see that if we trace the positions from 0 to 24, that is, this is the last position, it has visited all the cells just once, and this is one of the solution. This night tour can have multiple solutions, and this just returns one of them. So yes, night tour 5 has one solution like this. If we test for night 6, it will take time. As you can see that night, as compared to night 5, night tour 5, night tour 6 has taken some time, because as we increase the chessboard size, it has to test more possibilities. So for night tour 6 also there is a solution existing. Night tour 7, yes, it will take some time and it will print the solution. That, so for tour 7 also a solution exists. Now night tour 8 I can run, but it will not print the output because it will take a lot of time. So what I will do is I will just interrupt the kernel, because it will not give the answer in feasible time. So I will stick with the night tour 7. So backtrack is a straightforward algorithm if you think of it intuitively. Backtracking involves recursion, so we should pay close attention to its base cases, or you may get Stack Overflow error and then you have to find about that error on Stack Overflow site. You should never do a dry run of the entire recursion code. I will repeat that because the recursion tree of a NideTour 7 is very large. You don't want to do that complex stuff. You just have to be confident of the current XY position and see what are the base cases of the current so that you can stop or declare that as a dead end and then test for all the other possibilities. This step is the backtracking step. So we are first marking this uh, current cell into counter, but if all the positions are not fruitful, we will demark that position to -1. So this is the basic structure of the backtracking algorithm. You should just verify that each recursive call is covering all the cases and they are working correctly. The time complexity of this algorithm is 8 raised to n squared. This is because in the worst case, we have to check for 8 possible knight moves in every cell of the board. So this is an exponential algorithm, and that's why knight to 8 takes a lot of time. I hope that now you will find backtracking algorithms more intuitive and easy after watching this video. If yes, please press that like button, comment any feedback that you have for this video or this channel, share this video with your friends. The code that I write in all my videos of this channel is available in my GitHub profile, whose link is in the description. You can connect to me via LinkedIn, whose link is again in the description. If you want to see a line by line simple explanation of data structures and algorithms like this, check out the playlist over here. If you want to learn Python built-in functions along with various Python features, tips, tricks, and real project examples, then check out the playlist over here. If you want to see a hands-on game development project, check out the playlist over here. And I will see you in the next video.